Peritonsillar space. Peritonsillar space, it is a potential space between the fibrous capsule of the tonsil medially and the superior constrictor laterally. So the boundaries are: medially it is bounded by the capsule of the palatine tonsil, laterally by the superior constrictor muscle, which is right over here. This is the superior constrictor muscle, the capsule of the tonsil medially, anteriorly by the anterior pillar and posteriorly by the posterior pillar. It contains loose areolar tissue and it communicates with the parapharyngeal and retropharyngeal spaces. Peritonsillar abscess, which is also known as quinsy. So what is peritonsillar abscess? It is the collection of pus in the peritonsillar space which lies in between the capsule of the tonsil medially and the superior constrictor muscle laterally. Now what is the source of infection in these cases? Peritonsillar abscesses usually follows acute tonsillitis, though it may also arise de novo without any previous history of the sore throats. So what happens in this case? First, one of the tonsillar crypts, usually the largest one, which is known as the crypta magna, gets infected and it gets sealed off. It forms an intratonsillar abscess which then bursts through the tonsillar capsule to set up peritonsillitis and then an abscess. It can also result from a penetrating foreign body, the periodontitis, infectious mononucleosis, tonsillar remnant left behind after tonsillectomy. Culture of pus from these abscesses will reveal Streptococcus pyogenes, Staph aureus or anaerobic organisms. So most often you will see that the growth is mixed with both aerobic and anaerobic organism. Coming to presentation of the case. It will mostly affect adults and rarely the children, though acute tonsillitis is more common in children. Usually it will be unilateral but occasionally you might find bilateral abscesses as well. So general clinical features are fever, chill and rigor, general malaise, body ache, headache, nausea, constipation. These symptoms will be due to septicemia and they will resemble any acute infection. Coming to local clinical features, there will be severe pain in the throat, usually unilateral, marked odynophagia that the patient cannot even swallow his own saliva which dribbles from the angle of his mouth. Patient will be very dehydrated. Patient will have muffled and thick speech which is often referred to as the hot potato voice. Foul breath due to sepsis in the oral cavity and poor hygiene. Patient might have ipsilateral earache. This will be a referred pain via the glossopharyngeal nerve which supplies both the tonsil and the ear. And also the patient may have trismus due to spasm of the pterygoid muscles which are in close proximity to the superior constrictor. So these are all the features, the symptoms that the patient will be presenting with. Coming to examination, the tonsil pillar soft palate on the involved side will be congested and swollen. The tonsil itself may not appear enlarged as it gets buried in the edematous pillar. Uvula will be swollen and edematous and pushed to the opposite side. You can see over here, this here is the deviated uvula. There will be bulging of the soft palate and the anterior pillar above the tonsil. Mucopus may be seen covering the tonsillar region. Cervical lymphadenopathy, most commonly the jugulodigastric lymph node involvement, and there can be torticollis where the patient keeps the neck tilted to the side of the abscess. So this is about the signs which you will be noticing in the patient. Coming to treating the case. So first you have to hospitalize the patient, intravenous fluids to combat the dehydration, antibiotic coverage for both aerobic as well as anaerobic organisms, analgesics like paracetamol given for relief of pain and to lower the temperature. However, you have to remember here that aspirin should be avoided because of the danger of bleeding. Oral hygiene to be maintained by hydrogen peroxide or saline mouthwashes. So these are all the conservative measures that you should first take care of peritonsillitis. Now, if there is only inflammation of the space, this is known as peritonsillitis. In that case, we will be doing all the conservative measure. Now, if a frank abscess is formed, then incision and drainage becomes necessary. So, where will you give the incision? So an incision will be given at the point of maximum bulge above the upper pole of the tonsil or just lateral to the point of junction of anterior pillar with a line drawn through the base of uvula. You can see in the picture over here, this is the first line is the line along the anterior pillar, and this is the line drawn along the base of the uvula. The junction of both these two lines is where you will be giving an incision. With the help of a guarded knife, a small stab incision is made and you open up the abscess and drain it. Also, in these cases, some people prefer to do interval tonsillectomy where the tonsils are removed 4 to 6 weeks following an attack of quinsy. And another group of people also prefer to do an abscess or hot tonsillectomy. What does that mean? That means instead of incision and drainage, instead of waiting for 4 to 6 weeks following an attack, you do an tonsillectomy right at that time. However, this will have a risk of rupture of the abscess during anesthesia and excessive bleeding at the time of operation. Coming to complications. It is very rare due to our advancement of our medicine. We usually use IV antibiotics and all the conservative measures, and mostly it will subside. But these are the complications that might happen in some rare cases. So there can be a parapharyngeal abscess, edema of the larynx, which will lead to needing a tracheostomy for the patient. Septicemia, leading to other complications like endocarditis, nephritis, brain abscess, pneumonitis or lung abscess due to aspiration of the pus if there is a spontaneous rupture, jugular vein thrombosis, spontaneous hemorrhage from carotid artery or jugular vein, airway obstruction due to the rupture of the abscess, and mediastinitis. Now coming to differential diagnosis in case of peritonsillar abscess, it can be infectious causes like parapharyngeal abscess, upper third molar abscess, and a coexisting infectious mononucleosis. Inflammatory cause like Kawasaki disease. Vascular cause like internal carotid artery pseudoaneurysm due to trauma. Benign lesions like benign lymphoepithelial cyst. Neoplasms like tonsillar malignancy, tonsillar lymphoma, rhabdomyoma, and peritonsillar space tumors like minor salivary gland tumors.